She had always hated Christmas markets. Too many people, too many lights, too much fake cheer. But that year her friend literally dragged her out of her Chelsea apartment saying, "Emma, if you spend one more December with a bottle of wine and Netflix, I'm adopting you myself." So there she was, standing beside the giant tree at Bryant Park in her cream coat and soft white knit beanie she only bought because it felt like the hug she hadn't had in years. She was watching other people's kids hang crooked handmade ornaments on the lower branches and was about to turn around and leave when someone behind her muttered in English with the softest trace of a southern drawl, "Damn it, Redigan." Emma turned. A girl in a camel coat and gray beanie was holding two identical red glass balls and looked ready to smash them against the nearest pole. "You allergic to red?" Emma asked, surprising herself. The girl looked up, warm eyes the color of whiskey with a drop of ice, and suddenly laughed. "Only when there's too many of them. I'm trying to find at least one gold or silver, so the tree doesn't look like the Chinese flag. I'm Liv, by the way.
Emma.
And I happen to have a gold one in my bag. I took it down because, well, I don't like when everything matches too perfectly." Liv stared at her like Emma had just offered her the keys to her apartment. "Are you seriously saving my night right now? Can I buy it from you? Or trade it for coffee? Or eternal gratitude?" Emma pulled the little scratched gold ornament from her bag, the one she'd removed because it hung crooked and reminded her too much of herself.
"Here.
Consider it my contribution to global tree diversity." They hung it together. Gloved fingers and almost identical light will brushed for a second, and something inside Emma tightened. Not painful, but noticeable. Liv didn't pull her hand away immediately. "Thank you," she said quietly. "You probably think I'm insane. It's just this is the first tree I'm decorating without her. My ex moved to California last year and took all our ornaments, even the ones I made as a kid." Emma nodded. She understood. Her own ex had simply vanished. No things, no explanation. Just an empty half of the closet and silence. "I'm not big on holidays either," she admitted. "But tonight I got dragged out by force. And now, I'm talking to a stranger about Christmas balls. Maybe it's a sign." Liv smiled with the corner of her mouth. "Want hot chocolate? My treat, for tree saviors." They got chocolate with marshmallows and leaned against the railing of the ice rink, watching people glide beneath. Last Christmas. Snow fell slowly, like in the movies, settling in Liv's hair and making her look like a page from an old magazine. "You're from Georgia?" Emma asked, catching the accent.
"Atlanta.
Moved here 2 years ago for work. I'm a photographer. You? Architect. I design houses where no one will ever be happy because clients always want more windows and fewer walls." Liv laughed. Open real, and Emma realized she hadn't heard a laugh like that beside her in a very long time. They talked about everything and nothing. How Liv hates the subway at rush hour, how Emma secretly feeds the pigeons in the park even though it's forbidden, how they both can't stand gingerbread but love the smell of pine, how terrifying it is to start over in a city that seems built to remind you you're alone. When the chocolate was gone, Liv suddenly said, "Listen, I know we've known each other for like an hour, but I have a ton of ornament boxes at home, and a tiny, very sad little tree that could use some love. If you're up for it, want to help me finish decorating it? Only if you want. No pressure." Emma looked at her, at the snowflakes on her lashes, at the way Liv bit her lip waiting for an answer. "I want to," she said. Liv's apartment was 2 blocks from the park, an old walk-up, 4th floor, no elevator. It smelled like coffee and something woody. The tree really was small and a little crooked, like it had been through a breakup too. They put on an old Frank Sinatra playlist, opened a bottle of red, and started unpacking boxes. There were ornaments from Liv's entire life. Glass pine cones from childhood, a star she bought in Prague, a tiny silver camera, gift from her mom. Emma found a red star in one of the boxes, the one that would later end up at the very top in every photo they'd take. "Can we use this?" she asked.
Liv Frose.
That was her favorite.
She always put it up last.
Said it was like a goodbye kiss before the new year. Emma gently put the star back. "Then let's not. New traditions." She pulled the little gold ball from her pocket, the same one she'd given away at the park. Apparently Liv had slipped it back to her while they walked. Let the top be gold. Like a beginning. They hung it together. Liv stood on a stool. Emma steadied her by the waist, carefully, like she was afraid to scare her off. When they were done, they stepped back. The tree glowed warm and imperfectly perfect. Liv turned off the overhead light. Only the tree lights and the reflection from the window remained. Beautiful, Emma whispered. Yeah, Liv answered, but she wasn't looking at the tree. Then came the kind of silence where you can hear your own heartbeat. Liv took one step closer. Emma didn't move away. Can I? Liv started, then stopped. Emma just nodded. The kiss was slow, careful, like both of them were afraid that one sudden move, and it would all disappear. Liv's lips were warm, tasted like chocolate and wine. Emma felt her own hands slide under Liv's coat, to her waist, her back, not to hold her in place, but to make sure this was real. They only pulled apart when breathing became necessary. I didn't plan this, Liv whispered, forehead against Emma's. Honestly, from the second you handed me that stupid gold ball, I couldn't think about anything else. Me neither, Emma admitted. I thought I'd never. Don't say never, Liv said, and kissed her again, this time bolder. Later they sat on the couch wrapped in the same blanket, watching snow fall outside the window. The tree blinked in the corner, casting golden flecks across their faces. This is weird, Emma said, but I feel home. Liv took her hand and laced their fingers together. You know what I thought when you gave me that ball? That someone finally decided to share their gold instead of hiding it. Emma smiled and kissed her temple. Happy new beginning, Liv. Happy new beginning, Emma. Outside, New York kept roaring as always, but inside a tiny fourth-floor walk-up with no elevator, it was quiet and warm. And for the first time in a very long time, both of them knew, this winter wouldn't be about goodbyes. It would be about first kisses under a crooked little tree, and about how sometimes rescue comes in the shape of an ordinary gold ornament that someone decided to give away just because they wanted to give someone else a little light.